Good morning. Welcome to Wicked Confidential, a cooking show I do from Wicked Slice in Coventry with my general manager, Mike Cook. Today I'm going to do pork three ways. I'm going to do a rack of ribs, I'm going to do a pork shoulder, and I'm going to do some pork chops. I'm also going to roast up some vegetables in a saute pan for you. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this piece of pork. This is a pork shoulder. Leave the fat on it. It's got a bone in the middle. This is going to cook approximately 5 hours at 240 degrees. The rub I'm going to use is garlic powder, salt, pepper, onion powder, and a little bit of sugar. More stuff that everybody has in their kitchen. And I'm going to rub it in liberally. Like I said, leave the fat on here is important. It's for the flavor. We will get rid of it before we pull it for the pizza we're going to make. That's one of our, Mike's going to make pulled pork and red onion pizza today. So after that's covered liberally like that, I have a Dutch oven, which I have over here, with some onions that I've sauteed, and a little bit of beef stock. That's just Rachel Ray out of a box, nothing fancy or whatever you want to use. That goes in there. I have a little bit more water. You want to bring the water up to about halfway. You can use a metal pan, glass, whatever you have. This is a great little tool right here. I've used it before in the show. I'm not going to give the brand away, but you can do just about anything in this thing. It's great. So we're going to pop this in the oven at about 275 degrees. There's our rack of ribs we're going to show you in a little while. Okay. Now I'm going to pull the pork that we're going to put on the pizza. I have it right here. All the barbecue sauce, thank you, Michael. All the barbecue sauce that I'm using today is a mustard based, a North Carolina. I'm not really a barbecue guy or a smoke guy. I don't do a lot of smoking stuff. That's for the professionals. But I'm going to show you how to do nice barbecue that you can enjoy with your friends at home. This you could put in a crock pot even, and before you go to work, and leave it all day, and it pulls apart greatly. Okay. And like I mentioned about the fat, that's where all the flavor comes in. Here's the fat cap right here. So we're just going to peel this off. Put that aside. And then it just simply pulls. It's very easy. It's very tender. We're going to mix a little barbecue sauce, and Michael's going to put this on the pie. It's March 21st. To all my friends out there, we know this is a sad day for us. We lost Jimmy Sprague 38 years ago, and we know he's looking down on us, and we miss you, Jimmy. To all my friends out there, it's my birthday on Friday, and you know where to find me. Although this will be next month, so I still got to say it. Okay. I like to leave it a little more chunkier because it's going on the pizza. I'm also going to put this on a roll today. A little more meat right there. Put in the barbecue sauce. And it's pretty juicy. I don't want it saturated with the barbecue sauce so that it ruins the pizza. But I do like a little of the flavor in there. This is a simple barbecue sauce to make with pretty much everything you probably have in your refrigerator. We're going to put this over to Michael now. And we're going to go back and see him in a little while. We're going to get some vegetable sauteing before I do the ribs, actually. It's supposed to snow today. Another nor'easter, like we need another one. Kids are playing soccer inside and softball inside now. They should be outside playing. Although the kids don't play like the old days. We had like a fish pole and a bicycle. That was our toys. Okay, roasted vegetables. I have previously diced 2 potatoes and parboiled this for 5 minutes. So this is the first thing that I want to put down in a hot pan because I'd like to get a little brown on the potato. Potatoes, tomatoes, onions, peppers, and I'm going to finish it off with spinach at the end. And I also have, we've been using shiitake mushrooms on pizza, and I have a little shiitakes left over. Use any kind of vegetable you want. I'm just trying to cut down on all the carbs, so just a little bit of the potatoes today. Hear a little sizzle there. And to all you baseball fans out there, yay. Time for baseball season, whether you're a Yankees, Red Sox fan, whatever. I love baseball. But I have to add a little side note. Thank you to Patriots for trading Danny Amendola to the Miami Dolphins, my team. Very happy about that. And the hat I have on needs no explanation. I predict another national championship. I hope I didn't screw you there, Gino, but you guys are great. Okay, now we're going to add the tomatoes because I like them to blister. The tomatoes and onions next. And like I said, use any vegetable you have in your house. This is just what I prefer. We'll put in the peppers last. We're going to go it all right now. What the heck, right? Doesn't that look beautiful? Almost like, I'm sure, it's almost like summer. Just not outside, folks. That's beautiful. Okay, so while that's cooking, I'm gonna grab my rack of rib right here. These ribs just get in your grocery store. This whole rack of ribs was like about $12. Very reasonable. Leave all the fat on there. And the same rub that I used for the shoulder, I'm going to use for this. Very, very liberal on all sides. You really like to get it in there. And I use less salt than everything else just because it's just, you really don't need it. Get a little fire going, yes. All chefs love fire. Michael, I almost started a fire yesterday in the garbage can. Jimmy thought it was funny. Yes, folks. I turned around and the garbage can was on fire. Yeah. Trying to light a pilot. Jimmy thought it was funny. I did not think it was funny. Okay, you're going to take this rib. You're gonna wrap it in foil. We're gonna pop this in the oven. This is going in the oven for 3.5 hours at 275 degrees. Beautiful. Smells fabulous. The other one that's in there. Let me glove up again. Smells fabulous, folks. Nothing like vegetables in the morning. Future shows coming up. We're gonna have a grill. I'm gonna bring a grill in. We're gonna grill outside if it's nice. Before we end, before our intern has to go back because she doesn't work during the summer. Okay. Now I have some pork chops. I like pork chops with. I like all meat with a bone is better. It just gives you more flavor. These are just nice pork chops that I got at the grocery store. I'm gonna use a tiny bit of my rub on these, and then I have this Kansas City rub. My children gave me a bunch of rubs for Christmas. I've been using them and they're great. So we're gonna use this on the chops today. Another pan going there for the pork. Turn this down a tad. This is looking very nice. With the salt and pepper. As you see from the past shows, I've advanced from my grocery store salt and pepper mills. Michael got me a nice set. Thank you. And thank you all of my fans. Well, I don't have very many, but the folks that come in to see me and watch my show, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. We had a couple nice young ladies yesterday that came in and really liked the show. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna move this to the back. I'm gonna put the pork chops up front. And you're working with oil, so be very careful when laying the pork chops in there. Lay it away from yourself so you don't burn yourself. Okay. Let me get a little more heat on there. What I'm doing now, I'm gonna pull the rack of ribs out of the oven so I can unfoil it in a few minutes. It's been in there for about 3 hours and 20 minutes. Beautiful. Okay. The pan's nice and hot now. What I meant by putting away from you, lay the pork chop like this so you don't get grease on yourself. I'm gonna give that a minute or two on each side. Beautiful pork chop. Next month I'm gonna do salmon. I'm gonna bring in a whole salmon, show you how to fillet a salmon. It's not really that hard. Well, not the whole thing, but like just like a nice big section of it. So we'll have a little fish though. Nice pork chop. One of the reasons I picked pork for today too, it's a good meat, it's good for you, relatively cheap to feed your family. I have 3 kids, so we spend a lot of money on food. We try to stay out of the fast food plates as much as we can. That's beautiful. And these chops I'm also going to finish off in the oven. Michael. Clean up my mess a little bit, folks. Beautiful. Love those vegetables. Okay. As soon as this chop is done, we're going to get this in the oven. I'm going to add the shiitakes now. Michael's favorite mushroom. Some butter. Because what do I say? Butter's your friend. In moderation. It's warm in here today, Melanie, huh? Love it. So do I. So do I. Well, you're a bakery girl, so you know much more about the heat than I do.
At least it's not summer. In the summer.
Oh, I can't wait for summer. I'm so looking forward to summer. We're gonna pop these in the oven now. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm gonna pull my ribs out, and then we're gonna go to Michael for the pizza segment. And we'll come back and I'll serve up the pork chops and the vegetables. And so this is what the ribs look like. Falling off the bone. This is my mustard-based barbecue sauce, ketchup, sugar, Frank's Red Hot sauce, a few things. All the recipes will be on the show. I don't like to slather it in barbecue sauce. We'll let the folks do that themselves. And as you can see, folks, they're just falling off the bone. So we're going to put that aside and we'll serve it up in a few minutes. Johnny's barbecue ribs with a mustard-based barbecue sauce. Mike, are you ready?
I am, sir.
Excellent. We're gonna go to Michael now.
All right, good morning, everyone. This is Mike from Wicked Slice alongside Johnny Murray. I can certainly attest to those ribs that Johnny just made, some of the best ribs I've ever had. We actually, over the summer, we made about 200 racks of those ribs for a benefit for Donald Bucky Smith, who's now passed away. And those ribs, man, we cooked them here in the morning, about 3.5, 4 hours in that oven. I ran them over to Andover, put them on the grill to heat them back up, and I'll tell you what, man, they were the best ribs that a lot of people there have ever had. So today we're gonna take some pulled barbecue pork that we have here that Johnny pre-cooked. Like I said, I like to make pizza out of leftovers that I have. So maybe you had a good barbecue in the backyard, you had some leftover pork, whether it be that pork shoulder, the ribs, or even the pork tenderloin. Just pull it, make it so you can put it on pizza. So this is just some of the leftover pulled pork that Johnny had from earlier. He tossed that in with the barbecue sauce in a bowl here. So we're gonna take that and put it on the base of our pizza. Again, I'm not gonna start with cheese because I like to put the meats, the already been cooked meats, on the bottom so that they don't dry out on the top. Just wanna get a good layer of that pulled pork. We use a thinner crust dough here, so I don't wanna be too heavy or else the pizza won't hold up. But if you're using a thicker crust at home, certainly go ahead and be as generous as you want with the pulled pork. All right, now that we have a good layer of that pulled pork on there, we're gonna go ahead and put some cheese on there. Today I've got a shredded mozzarella that's a standard for any pizza, and I've also got some Cabot sharp cheddar that I'm gonna mix in there as well. So again, topping the pizza, I always like to start on the outside so you get a nice even layer of the cheese. So we'll do a lighter layer of mozzarella here. And then we'll go ahead and do about the same amount of cheddar cheese on top of that mozzarella. Now Johnny had some leftover ends of the vegetables and stuff like that for when he was roasting those vegetables. So I've got, I wouldn't necessarily say scrap pieces, but just not so pleasant looking pieces that we're just gonna go ahead and, instead of waste, just put on top of the pizza. They're all perfectly good vegetables. So here I've got some red onions that were left over. I've got some green peppers over here. I always like to use the red onions. It adds a nice color to the pizza rather than using the whites and the yellows that usually kind of mix in with the cheese and you can't see them. So I think for today, I think that's all we're gonna get on that pizza. Nice and simple, red onions, green peppers, and the barbecue sauce. I'm gonna go ahead and top it off with a layer of just any barbecue sauce that I had in the fridge. I've got some Chipotle barbecue here. We'll go ahead and just drizzle that on top here. Again, as always, I like to take a little bit of spice and go around the edge. You can even take a little bit of that dry rub that Johnny made and put that around the edge of the pizza. And we'll go ahead and bring this over. We'll get this in the oven. Again, our pizzas cook at between 550 and 600 degrees for about 7 to 10 minutes. I'm just gonna put this here to get some Parmesan cheese. And again, along with the spice on the outside, I like to put a little bit of Parmesan cheese just to keep some flavor in that crust. Encourage people to eat the crust rather than throw it at the dog. All right, so again, 550 degrees, about 7 to 8 minutes. We'll take a look at that in just a few minutes.
I'm back. We're waiting for Mike's pie to come out, so I'm gonna plate up the rest of my food. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna get the pork chops out of the oven that we put in there about 9-10 minutes ago. Oh, sorry, Melanie. Oh, yes, no. I'm thinking I'm running in a restaurant like you always do. When you work in a restaurant, folks, you do a lot of running around. Do a lot of running around. You gotta love this job. You gotta love it. Here I go again, sorry. We're gonna go. Love my Fiesta wear. So, beautiful pork chops with the Kansas City rub on them. Gorgeous. Have the vegetables. Like I said, any kind of vegetables. That's why I love springtime. I love going to farmers markets. We love getting fresh things. Maybe we could do something like that on Mike's iPhone and we could bring it into the show somehow. But Michael does work Sunday, so he won't be going. Sorry. Couple more years before Michael gets Sunday off. No, we need him on Sundays. We need him on Sundays. He's like the guy that keeps everything going with us. It's beautiful vegetables. Always wipe off the rims. And we have pork chops on the bone with a Kansas City rub. I have Johnny Murray's barbecue pork, honey mustard based ribs that just fall off the bone, as you see. Absolutely beautiful. And my grilled vegetables with tomatoes, peppers, mushrooms, spinach, and onions, potatoes. I think I said the potatoes twice. It's been a great show today. We still got a little more. Mike's taking the pizza out in a few minutes. As you can see it right there. Mike makes a beautiful pizza. And again, thank you to everybody in Coventry who supports us and surrounding towns watching our show. There's nothing like someone coming in and saying, "We saw you on TV." It's just great. It's been wonderful. Michael's eating the pork over there. It's that good. It's that good. He's having pork and coffee for breakfast.
Yes, sir.
And I'm having my Sprite.
All right, looks like we got about a minute or so left on this pie here. Just get some of those unwanted bubbles out of there. Give her another spin. In about 2 more minutes, that should be good. Absolutely. Alrighty, that pizza's looking pretty good. You want that bottom a nice golden brown like that. If I let that sit in there anymore, it'll probably get a little too dark. And there you have it, a barbecue pulled pork with some green peppers, red onions, and a little bit of chipotle barbecue sauce on the top. Alrighty, well that's gonna go ahead and complete our segment here today on this beautiful second day of spring with 12 inches of snow coming today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next month.
Thank you all for watching. It's been wonderful. This has been a great experience. I'm glad we can continue to go on. It's my birthday in 2 days. I'll be 54. I know I look it too. Thank you to everybody who's already flooding me with Facebook messages. You all know where to find me on Friday. Johnny Murray out.